happening, people? We're here, man. Man City, Tottenham preview. Let's get into it. It's gonna be a good one. I've got Daps with me today. Daps, what you saying, bro?
Oh, I'm confused. Do you know what? I've just looked at my City chat and some knobhead has just put in there 4 in a row for Spurs block 117. Are they your blocks?
Yeah.
Oh, seen same as ours. So I was thinking someone's because they sound like home blocks. Oh, right, it's the same as ours. Yeah. Ooh,
Yeah, man. What you
no, I don't
saying
want to go
though?
to your ground. Fuck that. I don't want to go to your ground.
Oh man, you guys are fair to say you lot are slightly in the mud. Although you're not really too far in the mud. You're still
Be careful what you say.
yeah,
Are you in the
yeah.
mud?
Oh, we're below the
You're in
mud,
the
bro. No.
quicksand.
We're in the core of the earth. It's
Uh,
dark for us, but nah, man. Obviously, appreciate you joining me. Let's get straight into it. Let's start off with your team, man. Obviously, Liverpool took you apart. How are you feeling for this one?
Bro,
How
do you know what? I'll be real. I was happy with the Liverpool performance. I'm not even going
mm,
to gas you. Yeah. Like, am I happy with that performance compared to other seasons against Liverpool? Nah, but we're not the same team. Like, I know where we are at the moment. So I took positives from that Liverpool performance, positives that might not even be that relevant to this season. But I'm looking at our new players and I'm looking at I'm looking at Kuzanov. I think Kuzanov was unbelievable against Liverpool. Um, I know where we are in it. So I didn't expect to beat Liverpool, but I took some positives from the game. The one negative going into this game, I would say, is like the two teams that I fucking hate playing every year is you lot and Liverpool. And now we've got you lot. So it's one of them. You know what it is, bro? I'll be real with you, yeah. I want to say late December, early January, I had decided, right, for me, top 4. And I wasn't even saying a cup run. I was just saying top 4. That's what we must concentrate. I was saying we might as well go out of the Champions League because I can't see us doing anything in the Champions League. Didn't think about the FA Cup. I just wanted top 4, right? And then I was looking at the run of games we had in late January into February into March. And that's like where we are right now is we're still in the top 4 and we're nearly through our hard run of games. Yeah. So this is just another one to mark off and get out the fucking way and move on to the next one. Can we get something against you lot? Yeah, probably we could get something, but am I thinking we're going to get something against you lot? Nah, because it's Tottenham away.
yeah,
we used
man. This
we used all our luck against you last season. We beat you twice away from home last season. Yeah. Now, if you look at City at Tottenham, that's probably about 8 years' luck to get that. So we're probably, but I then look at your team and think, do you know what? If Ange does play that high line, look at us against Newcastle.
yeah, no,
But
you're not wrong.
it's if you play that high line. If you play that high line and you don't do the usual Spurs against City, we could get something. But same way, I think you're starting to get players back, right?
Yeah, yeah. Johnson's back now. Doggy's back as well. Oliver. We're getting a few players back. I think
What about at the back?
Solanke.
What about them 2 defenders?
They're set to come back for the Europa League round of 16, so not this week, next week.
So who's your centre back pairing?
I think it's Danso and Davis or Danso and Gray, so it's still a bit shaky at the back. I mean, Jed Spence is playing out of his socks right now,
Spence is looking cold. Yeah, yeah, agreed.
but you
But
know what I'm saying?
right,
Centre back,
okay.
a
But I
spine of a
remember
team. Lucario's back as well. Keeper's back now.
was it last season that you had Ben Davis and someone else as centre backs came to the Etihad and
Jaggerson, yeah. Ben Davis and Jaggerson.
you came to the Etihad and got a result in it. Yeah,
Yeah, 3-3.
yeah.
Well, you technically we robbed you lot because Grealish was clean through at the end.
He was. Yeah.
No,
But
Brown
I don't know.
envelope.
Do you know what, bro? Is us and you. especially in this. Well, nah, do you know what? I'm not even going to say in this fixture at your gaff, but Tottenham and City is just a mad fixture.
Yeah.
Like, and it's even like I remember when I was young, it was a mad fixture as well. By the way, it's always been a mad fixture where, like, I remember we've had a pitch invasion back in the 90s. We beat you 5-2 one time in the 90s when we were shit. But then now, like now that we're good, you lot just always and back from them Champions League games.
Yeah.
From then, you've just got our card, and it's one of them ones where everything about Tottenham away is just a minging situation, like getting to and from the ground. Where do you live, bro?
East. I'm in East, bro. So
So it might not be too bad for you, but like getting back to a mainline station from Tottenham's ground is just minging as well. And after you've been beaten and it's an evening kickoff, it's just death, bro. It's just
even getting into the station is flipping death, let
yeah,
alone
getting there's one thing, but before the game, at least you're getting there, you can. Whereas after the game, when it's like 10 p.m. and you've got to get a train, like I've got my worst memories of your ground was season before last, the season we won the treble, and we played you on the Sunday, and you beat us. I think was it 1-0?
1-0. I think Kane scored
Kane.
that record-breaking
It
goal.
was a record-breaking goal. Yeah. And then, and I was in a bad place anyway, myself personally. But like, I think I haven't slept all weekend, and then was trying to not go to the game. But my brethrens were all on the way down saying, "Yo, where are you? Where are we meeting you?" and whatever. Obviously on trains and on coaches and whatever. So I got up and made my way to the ground, thinking I don't even want to go to this game. Went there because it's Tottenham away. Went there, got beat 1-0. And then the next morning woke up to 115 charges. Literally the day after, bro. It was just like, what is going on with this football club? But yeah, I don't know. This is one where, for me personally, it's a free hit because I don't ever expect to get anything against Tottenham. But within our fan base, everyone's saying it's a must-win game now.
I mean, I guess in the context of your season, it is because, I mean, I heard LB say something that he thinks top four is comfortable because the teams around you aren't really doing much. You know, Chelsea slipping away, Forest are a little bit
Yeah,
inconsistent.
that's why we're still there, bro. Like,
You're still there and
yeah.
thereabouts, but it's just about this game. I think it will definitely be one that your players are up for. They're always up to play against Tottenham.
Yeah.
Whether we win, lose, or draw, it's always a game. But I don't think we're gonna make it easy for you. We're coming off the back of 3 in a row. You're
3
coming
wins
off
in
the
a
back
row.
of 3 wins in a row.
We're two losses in a row, we are.
Yeah, that's the first time we've won 3 games in a row since September 2023.
Oh, damn. There we go. Now admittedly, you are starting to work through the gears, I always call it. And with us, it's one of them ones where we lost to Real Madrid at the Bernabeu. To me, I know some people will want to cook City but for me, it's like, again, knowing where your club is. And I've been to the Bernabeu 4 or 5 times now, and I know going there is never easy. So to lose 3-1 to them there, not great. Liverpool at home, based on this season. This is another one where it's like, I think the one on this one is now right. Do you know what? Liverpool, Real Madrid is what it is. But now we do need, and I think this result, if we beat you, I'll take a draw. But if we beat you, then it's okay. I'm starting to think, yeah, top 4. Although I'm thinking top 4 can be done because I know after Tottenham, we've got Forest away. And then after that, it's not so bad. We've got United away, but based on the players they've got left, that should be a W. We've got Villa at home. Home games, I'm usually against most teams saying it's a W. Then we've got a lot of winnable games. This is one of the last one. This and Forest away are the 2 ones that I look at and go, very, very difficult. And if we lose, I'm not going to throw my toys out the pram and say, yeah, nothing's changing.
Is Haaland fit?
Haaland is back in training. That's what I was going to say. It's back in training. That's important to us because I think I honestly think if we had Haaland against Liverpool, we might have got something. I don't think we were that bad against Liverpool. I think, they defended unbelievably well, but they defended unbelievably well against City with a false nine. Do you know what I mean? Like, if Haaland was in there, it might have been a bit more of a handful. So I think Haaland is massive. And I think the key as well with this is when Haaland plays, it allows Marmoush to have a lot more space. Whereas at the weekend against Liverpool, it was like, right, there's no Haaland to mark. So where's
I'm on
Marmoush?
Marmoush.
Where's
Yeah.
Marmoush? Whereas this weekend, if we put, this Wednesday, if we can play Marmoush and Haaland against you lot, it's going to give your two centre backs a lot to think about.
Yeah, I agree. Marmoush, I mean, while we're on the topic of Marmoush, what a player, man. What a player. We was offered him, and typical Daniel Levy
Oh,
turned
that
him
is a
down.
typical Spurs move,
You know what I'm saying? The same way we was offered Salah from
Oh,
Basel.
the amount of
And
people I've seen you, man, be linked with and just not get over the line.
now he's killing it at City. What do you make of him since he's come in?
Who,
Fresh,
Marmoush?
fresh, yeah, definitely fresh air, man.
Yeah, so I'm pretty certain, Jay, you watch like all European football, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. Cass does, I don't. I watch City. Like, I'll be real with you. City, any other football, I watch City. I watch, obviously, I watch international tournaments. Apart from that, any other football I get to watch is a bonus. I'm not saying I don't watch other football, but I'm not like, I don't regularly watch European football. So I wait till a player comes to City and see what I think of him. For me, Marmoush just looks like an absolute handful that backs himself. And I think that's the key with forward players is when you've got forward players that back themselves, it's a good sign. Like, he's even against Liverpool, he's shooting from out far. The first goal against Newcastle, where he lobbed the keeper, right, bro, he runs off celebrating the minute the ball leaves his toe.
Because
He knows where it's going, and that's the type of confidence you want to see in a forward. That when they strike the ball, they know where it's going. So yeah, he's looking good. Looks like a handful. Breath of fresh air to us. Yeah, and then the other players we've got. I am such a big Kuznetsov fan. I really, really am, man. Like, and I don't know. Did you watch the Liverpool game?
Yeah, I did. Do you know another player I've been impressed with the last couple of games? That Gonzalez guy.
Yeah.
He's really good, man.
Yeah, I'm excited about seeing him and Rodri pivot next season. He looks like he's got a pass in him, and he looks like we've started to move the ball quickly again. Like, one of the issues we had with City this season is we were so slow on the ball and moving the ball, whereas he gets the ball, looks up, ball's popped off to someone else. And that sometimes it's not like 20, 30, 40-yard pass. It can just be a little 10-yard pass, but he moves the ball quickly and keeps the tempo going. So, now, big fan of him. I thought you were going to ask me on Levy, what my opinion on Levy is, by the way.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that. No, in fact, now that you brought that up, let's actually get onto that. Obviously, the protests, I'm sure you saw the protests as well.
Yeah.
You haven't actually had a chance to speak since then. What do you make on the whole Daniel Levy situation? Obviously, now we've been linked with some Qatari owners that are looking to buy Tottenham off of Daniel Levy. I think Daniel Levy's asking for like 4 point something billion.
Right, and yeah.
Well,
Bro,
what is it?
this
Oil brothers.
is where I feel for you lot. Look, Daniel Levy, as far as a businessman, is an exceptional businessman. Like, to get Tottenham to where they are, as far as in conversations that Tottenham are in at times. Super League as an example. Listen, none of us like the Super League, but the fact is, you were put in a conversation to do with the Super League, yeah, based on what, really? Like, I'm not mocking it, but Tottenham sometimes are involved in conversations that I think they have no right to be involved in. But he's got you involved in that conversation. He's got you to, he got you to be fair, whether it's him or Poch, they got you to a Champions League final. You were getting top four for a few seasons. My frustration with being, if I was a Tottenham fan, would be when is this guy gonna he's got us to the point where if he takes his hand off the handbrake, yeah, Tottenham could do something. Like as far as revenue wise, what you're bringing in, the stadium, he's got you there where if he just lets his hand off the fucking handbrake, you could do something, right? My thing is, go back to when we beat you in that League Cup final. The day that he decided to sack Jose Mourinho, 6 days before a Carabao Cup final, yeah? And by the way, at that point, we weren't performing great. You had Jose Mourinho, who is a serial winner, knows how to get things over the line, and probably Tottenham v City in that League Cup final, if you would have kept Jose Mourinho, probably would have been a 50-50 game, right? And he sacked him. Tells you all you need to know, that this guy is not putting the fans first, and he is not putting ultimately 6 winning trophies first. He's putting Tottenham Football Club, the business, first, right?
Yeah.
And listen, there's elements of that's great. You're blessed to have the facilities you have. You're blessed to have a club that is stable. Look, Man United, yeah, all of their profit they make goes into paying off loans, right? You don't want to be like that neither. But it's like, and every time he secures a new commercial deal with the club, that's great. But I can see as a Tottenham fan now, it's like, I don't give a shit, bro. Like, what does this mean to me? Because although you're a Tottenham fan, you're not a Tottenham business fan, you're a Tottenham football fan. What does it mean to me? Because the stable thing, we're stable as a club. We've got the stadium, we've got everything. Now let that handbrake off and just fucking back us a little bit. Like, it's just... And the problem is, bro, that this is where it's really, really shit for you lot, that because he's not showing that ambition on the pitch, what it means is that you only have a certain amount of time with every actually good player that you get, right? As an example, Kulusevski, I think Kulusevski is sick, yeah? I'd take him at City, right? I wouldn't be surprised if in the summer he's looking for a move because he's like, I've had it with this club. Like, when are we going to kick on? And I think that's what will keep happening. That ultimately, you can only build a squad, right, if the club is showing ambition, because eventually players prove how good they are and go, I want to go. Like, even if you think... I think it's such a shame, yeah, that Dembele and is it Dembele Modric never played together?
Dembele and Modric,
Right,
now they
bro,
never play together.
because it got to, and this is a thing that you have been so close to having. Like, bro, if you could mold together that certain period, that squad you had over a certain period, I think, bro, you could have won the league. Like, if I was to sit here now and list a Tottenham team of maybe the last 10 years, you had a squad good enough to win the league. But because of the time you have certain players for, you have to make sure they all get together. You have to make sure your squad all come. That's why City was successful. That's why when you look at the four-peat, when you look at the treble, is that we managed to get a certain group of players together in their prime at the right time. And I don't feel Tottenham will ever be able to do that, because just as a player becomes good and maybe you get another player that has the potential, the one that's there now is going to go, now I'm too good for this club and they're not showing me ambition, so I want to leave. And I think it is all down to him. It's a hard one because you're such a successful business that now, what, 4.5 billion? Is that what he's asking for?
Yeah,
Because
4.5.
as a business, you're probably worth that, right? But
But we just want trophies at the end of the day, man.
bro, you don't want to be a business. You don't want to be. You get the business side, but you want trophies. And I don't know, man. I can't see him selling, because you are such a he's created such a successful business, and I understand why Qatar would be interested in you, by the way, as well, because like the reason why Qatar, Abu Dhabi, the Saudis, they're looking at sound business investments for the long term, right? To invest their money in, because they've got a lot of money now. They want to invest in something that's going to keep growing. They want to invest in something that is in the public eye. And that's Tottenham. Like, you know, the sponsorship deals you've got in place, all of that, everything is ideal to Qatar. Now, if you get Qatar, the difference is that them lot will want success on the pitch as well. And
that's why I'm all for it. I'm all for it, man.
you have to be, bro. Listen, I'm not gonna sit here and say that, you know, our owners might have got one or two things wrong in the past. They have. Super League, I feel they got forced into that a bit. Pretty much told, get on board or you're gonna be left behind. We're the first to leave it. The charges thing, bro, we'll wait and see how what comes out of the charges. The charges will be a difficult one if we were to be found guilty, because then it would be like, the biggest issue to me would not be their reason for doing what they've done. Because personally, I think all they've done is invest in the football club to try and make us winners, right? And try and make this football club better. I think they've had red tape put in front of them non-stop just because of the fact that they're from a different part of the world to the rest of the football owners. Oh God, it's Donna. She's here, is she? He's here. Sorry. I'm good. But the hardest one is obviously for me is, so I think their intentions have all been good, but the red tape of being from outside of a certain area and you're trying to invest in something that the Americans have got, you know, their heels in, they don't like that.
Yeah.
But they did it for the right reasons. And that's the only thing, if you get taken out. Do you know what would be the best bet for you lot? If Qatar came in but kept Daniel Levy involved somehow.
You think so?
Oh, bro, right. Yes, it won't happen though, right? Because you're talking the exact politics I'm talking about of why Americans don't want the Abu Dhabi lot, the Saudi lot. I can't see Daniel Levy staying on board with an Arabic-run club. But if you could, because otherwise, the minute he leaves, there's going to be red tape put all over the place with your spending. They won't, like, all of a sudden, bro, they won't want you lot spending money. But, yeah. Did I see a question on Ange?
Yeah, so I was gonna ask you that. I'm just gonna go toilet quick, but I'll leave you with the question. It was, what do you make of Ange? What do you make of our season so far? Obviously now we're
Well, a
12th,
bad season for you lot, man.
but yeah, man, I'll leave that one with you, man. What do you make of it?
You're gonna go, I want to talk to you. You go. I'll quick toilet. I'll start.
I'm gonna be very quick.
Very quick, so I can. My thoughts on your season so far ultimately is quite simply not good enough for Tottenham. You have got to a point now where you're seen as a team that should be getting Champions League football. At very least, Tottenham should be getting Europa League football every season. It shouldn't be debatable. I think it's a hard one with Ange, because Ange has come in and he's been given a bit of, because of the fact that you had Jose before, you had who was the other guy you had? Jose and the Italian guy. Anyway, can't remember his name now. You've had the two managers that have played a lot more pragmatic football, defensive football, and Ange has come in with a completely different approach to it. And I think that's what Tottenham have been crying out for, because the one thing I always credited Tottenham for was when you got Jose Mourinho, you didn't want to sacrifice good football for trophies, which as a Spurs fan is mad. But I do rate that the fans were, nah, we don't want to play no boring football. Ange's come in, and I guess the way he plays football is a bit of a breath of fresh air. But his reluctance to adapt, his reluctance to adapt for different teams that's been an issue. That has been a big issue, because look, Tottenham still have standards. Tottenham still have standards that they want to keep to. And I know you're 12th now, but I think you were lower than that at one point. That's not acceptable to Tottenham. It isn't acceptable to Tottenham. So yeah, you catch all
No,
that.
listen. Yeah, no. I heard it all. Don't worry.
Who
It was
was the
Conte.
Italian manager? Conte.
Conte.
Thank you, Conte. Yeah, and do you know? I did rate how when you got Jose, Tottenham fans were going, nah. We don't want to sell our soul for trophies. We don't want to play shit football for trophies, and I rate that. I think that's probably bought Ange more time because of the fact that his football is more exciting. Like,
I think there's two things that have brought him time. I think the injuries, because this has been a freak season in
yeah,
terms of injury, like freak season. Even though I hate the injury excuse, it has been a freak season. That saved him, and also I think Daniel Levy has to save face now. Daps, bro. He's
what?
sacked three
Yeah.
managers,
Oh, true.
and now
Yeah,
all of them
yeah,
have gone on to do well wherever they've gone.
yeah.
Now it's
You're
like
right. You're right.
I can't sack this guy after I binned off Conte, binned off Nuno, and binned off Jose.
Because
Now they're first, second, and third.
it gets to a point where it's like, right, we've had every style of football we've had, and everyone's failed. Also, by the way, I'll say it now. I'm pretty certain that if Ange goes, he's not gonna be quiet neither. He will
Nah,
talk.
he'll kick up. He'll kick up a fuss. Yeah, he will. He will.
He'll expose Tottenham that little bit more, and it's not exposing Tottenham. That's not fair. He'll expose Daniel Levy that little bit more. Yeah. Do you know what? The injury thing, it is a valid reason. And this is, I always like to, with things, say there's a difference between excuses and reasons, right? Like for me, Arsenal have a lot of excuses when it comes to, like right now, a great example, in fact, yeah, Arsenal. Arsenal's injuries this season are a reason. They're a valid reason, as in right now. Not all season, because they hardly had any all season. But right now, Arsenal have a valid reason that they do have a completely injury hit front four, right? Arsenal fans talking about referees' decisions. Now, they're excuses. There's a difference. There's a big difference between excuses and reasons. And I think your injury hit team this season, it is a reason, it's a valid reason. However, I do think when you play certain styles of football, these things happen. There's no coincidence that Liverpool this season have had far less injuries than when they were playing under Klopp, right? There's a reason why Eddie Howe last season at Newcastle had so many injuries, right? That when you're playing rock and roll football, back and forth football, you get more injuries because players doing a lot more sprinting, right? And I think that's the issue with you lot with playing the high line. Like you play a high line, you counter in, and whatever the way Tottenham play football, your players are doing a lot of running, right? And is it coincidence that your two centre backs? I mean, the issues you've had defensively this season, it's because your defenders are doing a lot of running. So it is. I'm not saying it's fair, but it is a reason. Like Ange, if you play this style of football, you will keep getting injuries in your team because you're demanding so much, and that's without even looking at his training tactics. That I've heard there's a lot of it's all physical on the training pitch as well. And even if you go and look at Klopp's first season at Liverpool when he first took over, they were getting injuries all season. Because when someone comes in as demanding something that players are not used to, constantly running, you get injuries. So, but I don't know. I think
But that's
he's
why
he's
yeah,
likable, isn't it? He's
he don't
likable.
rotate the squad, bro. He don't rotate the
Nah,
squad, man. He
nah.
don't rotate, and that's the problem. And then when you do rotate, you have to rotate out of necessity, right? And then now the players that you've had to bring in because of the injuries, they're now working double overtime
Yep.
when they barely look at, for example, I'll give you an example, right? RT Gray's 18, and up until we got Danso, I think he had started almost every game since November.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
That's
and that,
ridiculous.
bro, and we've seen the exact same thing this season at our club, right? That over previous seasons, we've played a different style of football, right? Where it's been all about possession, keeping the ball, and it's made it difficult for teams to counter on us. Therefore, we're not sprinting back. We're managing to rotate. We're letting the ball do the work. This season, Rodri gets injured, and then all the other injuries we've had this season, it's meant that Gundogan, as an example, who was supposed to be a bit part player, is playing every single game. He's 34 years old. Kevin De Bruyne, who I expected to play a lot less games this season, he's playing a lot. Kyle Walker was having to play a lot more. And then the truth is now it happens. I have no doubt it's happened at your club as well. The amount of players that have played through injuries this season at City, right? And then that means, right, well, now they're in and out. Like Ruben Diaz, we didn't really see that many injuries from him. He's injured all the time now because he keeps having to come on when he's not fully fit. Same with Ake. I think, us and you have fallen apart. I think we're probably the two teams with the most injuries this season, aren't we?
Yeah.
I think it's us and you.
What's it called? I think Bournemouth as well. Bournemouth have had
Bournemouth, fucking
Bournemouth
hell.
have been, yeah, but there was one point there. I think they had like 10 or 11 players out. They've been, but Iriola's just doing you know what I'm saying, he's doing a really good job
Yeah,
over there.
100%.
One thing I will say though about Ange, and I don't know if you'll agree with me on this, is that he hasn't done himself any favors either by the way he talks, the way he handles himself is not a. It's just it's rubbed me the wrong way, and I'm Ange out for me. Even if he wins that Europa League, it'll be thank you for the memory. See you later, because
Yeah.
I can't have 18 hamstring injuries. Is not normal. That is
No.
not normal.
Oh, that's on you. Yeah. Like I said, you play a certain style of football, you don't rotate, and and you drive people hard in training as well. You're getting that many hamstring injuries. I agree with you. Look, I think it's all well and good for managers. It's all well and good to judge managers and say they're really likable and how they are when the team's doing well, right? Klopp was a perfect example for me that when Liverpool were winning games, everyone was like, Klopp hugging players, the nicest guy in the world. Bro, Liverpool ever lost a game, and you're seeing Klopp telling like interviewers, how have you even got a job, and speaking to people like the way, like, why are you speaking to someone whose job is to ask you questions? You're like trying to get him sacked for asking you questions. And the same with Ange a bit. It's all great when you lot are doing well. But yeah, at times, some of his interviews, it's like very passive aggressive. And that's, yeah. And do you know what that tells you as well, by the way? It tells you how he speaks to the players. Because,
well, I heard he doesn't even really get involved in the training sessions. I heard he kind of just leaves it to the coaches. He might pop in here and there, but he doesn't really get involved. Which, I mean, I hear it, but I don't know, man. I just, there's something about the way he carries himself that for me, he's come across as really bitter. Like, he seems kind
yeah,
of bitter.
arrogant.
And it's,
Yeah,
listen, it's
arrogant.
understandable.
Yeah,
Listen, you're gonna get asked dumb questions that you don't want to answer.
yeah.
That's one thing I will say. They do ask a lot of stupid questions, so
Yeah,
I'll
of
give
course
him
I
that.
do.
But you know, if as a fan, if I'm sitting there watching my manager literally crash out in a press conference, that doesn't fill me with any confidence.
No.
And big up Jacob. They
Yes,
haven't
Jacob.
even been training, but yet people say he ruins them in training. Well, my thing is, obviously, if they're injured, they're not training, but they train. That's my point. They train. It's his training sessions. Unfortunately, if players are getting look, like Dom Solanke, for example, that's a freak injury. He
Hold on.
done his knee
I'm trying to
in
work this
training.
out. They haven't even been training, but yet people say he runs them in training is crazy. Look, first and foremost, I'm only going by what I hear because I definitely don't study Tottenham's training. But
Yeah.
is he saying that we're talking about players that have just come back from injury, so they haven't even been back in training yet?
Yes, I believe so.
But I'm talking about how they got the injury in the first place, right? And
Yeah, yeah,
and you get the injury like if you're doing a lot of running in training now, right? A lot of running. And again, if I'm wrong, But what I've heard that his training is quite intense. So if it's his coaching staff, it is what it is. That still falls on him because he put the coaching staff in play. But if they're being run a lot in training, right, and then they're going on the pitch, and because of the style of play, they're having to run a lot, their body will break down. Now, of course, I'm not saying they come back from injury and then the training after injury. I'm talking about overall. If your body is being put through a lot, that's why the injuries are happening. I would have thought, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
well, then that's what I'm saying. I think it doesn't help. Listen, one thing I won't put on Ange necessarily is that he hasn't. Well, I will say he's been backed, but we haven't spent correctly. We didn't get enough bodies through the door in the summer, and it has come back to bite us. Now we've had to kind of panic buy in January. You know, we've got Tell that come in. He hasn't. I mean, he's been a bit hit and miss. Danso has been all right, but that's one thing. I won't put that
We
on
need a
Ange.
squad, bro. No, but this goes back to what I said that you don't build you can't build a squad overnight, right? You can't,
Mm.
especially a successful squad. You have to build it over a long period of time. What's that say? I think what Jacob refers to is when people say the player gets injured because of intense training, but he and players been saying they don't even have time to train.
Because of scheduling. Okay, that makes a lot more. He's basically saying that he's asking when did they get time to, but that just makes it worse because if the
I don't
schedule
like
is
this narrative. This is one that this whole narrative of not having time to train, because I know Amarin was doing it at Man United as well, going, oh, I've only had X number of sessions to actually train the players. And this scheduling thing, look, the schedule is an issue, 1,000,000%. Trust me, as a City fan, I know about the scheduling. Like, it makes me chuckle when I'm seeing certain clubs talking about the scheduling now, where we're like 8-9 years into playing from the Charity Shield all the way through to the latter stages of the Champions League. That's just football now, and it's shit for everyone. But no, what I was saying there is you have to build a squad, and you're not keeping hold of players. I don't think like players. There will be, well, players will leave you this summer. Some of your better players will leave you this summer. I mean, Jed Spence is an example. If Jed Spence finishes the season the way he started, people will sniff around him this summer.
yeah, I agree. If you're Dappy and you know it's happy hands, hilarious. Big up Piper. Big
Um,
up big
but
up Dapper.
nah, so if Jed Spence finishes this season well, right,
Mm.
and say Ange goes as an example, do you think Jed Spence got any loyalty to Tottenham?
No, why? Well, I
Why?
think he does. I think he does for the sake of. I mean, if you've seen his family, they're a lovely family. They're always they go to all of these games.
What
They
settled?
vlog it. They're proper set. They love Tottenham, innit?
Right,
They
okay.
all the fans love them. They sit with all
I
the
see
fans.
fans have always backed him, but it's just this is what here's the thing that if your players, and this is where I'll take it back to the owner, because I
Mm,
do think, bro, I'm convinced the owner's to blame. I'm sorry. I, I'm sure
yeah,
there's some people in your fan base that are still leaving in, but your owner is to blame, right? Now, if Jed Spence, who's looking really good as a right back, if he finishes this season well, then I mean, do you know what? My club's looking for a fucking right back, right?
yeah,
If someone, say City came in and put down 50 million for him, would Daniel Levy take the 50 million? Probably.
yeah,
Probably, right?
yeah. He would,
There you
man.
go. And now that's what's happening. Right, you're starting to build a squad. Now you on top of what you already need, yeah, you're now going to need to potentially go and get a right back, right? Now, Kulusevski, another one. I think Kulusevski's had a really good season, especially when he's played in the right position. Someone comes in
Mhm.
for him. He's a player that you probably wouldn't want to sell. But if the right money was put on the table, your owner would take the money again, right? And then again, right now. So on top of the players that you already need, you will need more players. And I think that's the issue with this owner.
Big up
He's
Alpha.
always going to put money first. And then if you don't sell anyone this summer, and you go out and strengthen, you're getting closer to have a squad that can compete. But I don't think that ever happens because you probably, in most transfer windows, sell a good player or two or get rid of a good player or two.
Mm.
And,
No, I
and, that,
agree.
and
I
that's
think the
because
players
these
are doing a
players,
good job.
firstly, it's because these players probably are going, yeah, do you know what? I'd be happy to leave because I've been here for X number of years. We haven't really achieved what I was hoping to achieve. And secondly, because your owner is a fucking he's money obsessed. And that's where he don't need to be. You've got all these great commercial deals in place. Just back the team, keep the players there. So, and we can blame Ange, but we can blame Conte, we can blame Mourinho, we can blame Poch. We could go back further than that and keep blaming managers. It gets to a point where it's like, yeah, managers might have a bit of blame, but ultimately, same as United, bro. I'll be real with you. United, like, it's the owners.
Yeah, I mean, 16 managers, one trophy. That says everything you need to know.
And it's not a good place to be, bro. I was there as a kid. Trust me, I was there as a kid, man. The one thing I would say is,
I disagree with this, Benny. I disagree with this. Ange didn't give him a chance. The
he
injuries
has
gave
he
him
not? Oh, is that what? Either way, he has.
the
He's right
injuries
with he has
because
had his chance this season. Yeah,
he's had his chances now. But if Udogie and Porro were fit the whole season, Spence would be getting fringe minutes in the cups because he's not even registered for our Europa League squad, which is
yeah.
absolutely ridiculous.
And by the way, I think it should be Spence that starts against
Shut up.
us.
Look at Catch always talking nonsense. Go away, Catch.
Is that Catch?
Go away.
Yes, Catch.
Yeah. He was talking. He was doing my stream the other day, talking nonsense, and then got his chain snatched by
Now,
Jared Bowen.
but we do want Levy in though, because if you lot get Qatar, then that would be interesting. Like, because you've got the infrastructure, you've got. If Qatar came in, the only thing that could save the rest of the league is the fact that they don't like Arab owners, and they'll try and put some things in place to stop you from spending money. Because if you get Qatari owners, then boy,
But
completely.
my thing is, yeah, I think they'll go and get a good manager, like a serious manager who can work with serious players.
Like who?
Like, go get me an Inzaghi or a Simeone or Iriola. You know, imagine you give Iriola, obviously, you have some more time, give him some more
You
time
won't
to
get
work.
time, bro. I don't think he suits Tottenham. I'm gonna be real with you because
You don't think?
nah, I don't, because I think right. If you're talking Qatar, yeah, then
Jacob, I'm not saying. Wait, sorry, Jacob. I think you misunderstood what I'm saying. I think Spence deserves all of the praise he's getting. I'm just saying that the reality is that
it wasn't down to
it's not
wasn't
down to
Ange.
Ange. He's
Ange's
playing
was
well in
forced.
spite of Ange, in my
Yeah,
opinion. But
yeah.
yeah,
I hear what you're saying.
sorry.
I don't know. It depends what you want, but I personally think if you had Qatari owners, I think the perfect manager for you would be Simeone.
Simeone, yeah.
Yeah, I've said that about Newcastle as well. I think Newcastle are doing well, but like we won our first trophies with Mancini, right? And you know these managers that come in. Of course, it will help, right? So you had Conte, right? If Conte was backed a bit more, who knows what would have happened? Yeah. Conte didn't work because he wasn't backed. I think if you back a manager like Simeone, a manager like Mancini, a manager like Conte, I think you'll get a trophy because they're pragmatic. They'll have you defend him like warriors, but then they'll still. This is a key with these type of managers. Yeah, like we were so good defensively under Mancini, but then we had Aguero, we had David Silva, we had Yaya Toure, right? There you go. You got strong defense, and you've got a magician and a powerhouse that can score goals and a goal scorer, right? If you had Tottenham and you had a mint defense that was not conceding goals, someone in the midfield of the park that can run the whole thing, and then prime Harry Kane up top, you might win something. Like, you really might win something. Whereas I think if you had Areola, it's an unknown entity. Is he a winner?
Yeah. No,
Is
big
he
up,
a winner?
Jacob. Big up, man. We all want the same outcome at the end of
Yeah,
the day. I think
100%.
there's even rival fans that want to see Tottenham win something.
Nah, I
Just
don't, because you're owner.
nah,
Well,
nah.
there's two things. There's two things about, because I know your owner's the leader of the whole anti-Man City campaign, right?
Yeah, Bun will leave me though, man.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
The
He
only other
can.
reason, I've got a real, probably I'd say, dislike for Tottenham is Deji. Bro, do you know how painful it is? Bro, I know where we are. We're fourth, yeah? I understand that. I don't mind if, whether it be hooks, whether it be catch, whether it be a gal, I don't mind if it's Monts. I don't mind if it's Callum. Shit, I don't even mind if Wolfie, a Nottingham Forest fan, yeah, this season is talking shit on me. But the way Deji from 12th place, yeah, thinks he can talk about Man City being over and talk anything and saying, you lot are rubbish, right? And I'm like, bro, we are really fucking bad this season, but we're fourth, yeah? As a Tottenham fan, mind your fucking manners. And it's just, bro, Deji is just... And the thing is, when you try and have a football chat with Deji, by the way, it's nothing but love for Deji. Deji is an elite content creator. But if for someone that I like to talk common sense and context, yeah, trying to have that conversation with Deji is hell. It's fucking hell, bro.
I love Deji though, man. You can't
Oh,
listen.
he's a special content creator. There's a few, bro. On Never a Foul, we're finding a few. I obviously Cass is more in the front. He's seeing everyone, but when Cass finds people, and I'm like, yes, this is a good one. You another one, Jay. You and Catch are two of the new ones that I think are sick. Hooks last summer, but Deji, Wolfie as well. Wolfie's like, bro. When Cass found was like, yeah, I've got this Forest fan that we're gonna have on the channel. I'm thinking, huh? Is it? What? And this was back in like September. And it's like it was meant to be because all of a sudden Wolf is there able to cook everyone. But that's my bro. If we lose to you lot, I don't mind facing you and chatting to you. I don't mind facing George, chatting to George. But I know Cass will be a shithouse and put Deji on, right? Wednesday night, I'll have to chat to Deji and they'll. That's why I need to. He calls us Plymouth for fuck's sake. Calls us Plymouth Argyle.
Listen, Wednesday night is going to be an exciting one because if we win, do you know what that means? That means we're 6-6 against Manchester this season because we've beat United 3 times, and this will be the third time we beat you this season. So we're
what was the score? So
2-1 at our place in the Carabao, then 4-0
it's the
at
Carabao. It's 4-0 at ours. Yeah. It was 2-1 in the Carabao, wasn't it? Yeah. And again, the Carabao result. You lot were bad actually in that one. We had all our youngers out, didn't we? And the first half we were dog shit. We were shit in the first half. Then the second half we put our youngers in, and our youngers actually were quite good. Yeah.
No, you know what? Do you know what it is about that game? I think we scored 2 goals completely against the run of play.
Yeah.
That just rattled you lot. And then you got one back, but we stunk it out. That was the first game.
Yeah. The second game, completely different ball game.
Yeah, man. I listen. I'm confident. I think we can get a result. Let's get on to. Let's do a quick combined 11. Then we'll do our
all right, cool. What based on this season?
Yeah, this season. 4-4-3-3. 4-3-3.
Yeah. 4-3-3 sounds right.
All right, we'll start with the goalkeeper. I mean, Vicario's been out most of the season. It's got to be Edison, right?
Yeah.
100%. Left back. We've had Spence at left back because the doggy's been out all season. So
is that where he's been playing? Left back?
Yeah, he's been playing at left back. Who you guys had at left back? Vardio. To be fair, Vardio's been alright.
Vardio's been good. I mean, the thing is, obviously, you do recency bias. Vardio, last couple of weeks, Vardio hasn't been so good. But over the season, I think Vardio's been mint. Last few weeks, obviously, Spence has been good. So,
fuck it, we can chuck him in there.
Yeah.
The two centre backs. I mean,
Fucking hell.
we've had no centre back since November. So
Yeah, and bro,
yeah, I put Spence on the right.
Yeah, I'd put Spence on the right. I agree with that. Yeah, you're spot on. Spence on the right, Vardio on the left.
Yeah,
I
I think
would
that's
and then in the middle, bro, it's so mad because we've been so shit defensively this season. I swear we've probably shifted the most goals. I wouldn't be surprised if we've shifted the most goals in the Premier League, bro. I'll be real with you. Based on the here and now, I'm having Kuzanov over any of our other defenders because Stones has been injured most of the season. Akanji's been injured and poor most of the season. Ake's been out most of the season, and Diaz. Bro, has Archie Gray been playing centre back for you lot?
yeah. He's played.
What?
He hasn't played
Bro,
in
this is
midfield
mad.
once.
If this is based on a form this season, bro, could it be an Archie Gray and fucking Kuzanov centre back partnership?
Hey, I think we've got to do. I think we've got to chuck RC Gray there, man. Maybe Danso, to be fair. Danso's been really good since he's come in, but if we're talking over you know what? I'm gonna put Danso in there just because I'm not discrediting Archie Gray. I'm not discrediting him, but Danso has been a revelation since he's come up.
Let me
Come in.
check how many goals conceded this season between us and you.
Yeah, yeah. Let me read some of these comments. You lot are all saying Archie Gray as well. Vardio and Spence, the fullbacks I choose.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's
100%.
right. Yeah.
That's spot on.
So,
Spot on, Jacob. Spence is a problem. Cats, you know, bro. Spence is a. I've been telling people about Spence. He's a bad man. But Kusanov and Danso.
yeah, bro, literally, we've conceded 37. You've conceded 38.
Jesus.
I mean, there's worse out there. There obviously is worse out there. But yeah, we've conceded 37. You've conceded 38. So
Apparently they played together at Lons.
who? Danso
And Kusanov. Has Kusanov played for Lons?
yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah, they
Yeah.
played together.
Oh,
Fair
well,
enough.
there we go. Bro, there we
There we
go.
go.
There we
We've
go.
got our back line. I think that's a fair enough back line. Fair.
It seems mad when you sat there and we have between us, right? Van de Ven, Romero, Stones, Ake, Akanji, Diaz, and we've got a partnership of Danso and Kuzanov is mad. By the way, Kuzanov has set the same speed as Van de Ven.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't know if you saw the other day against Liverpool, bro. 2 or 3 times he was playing on the right side of defence, and Salah was in on Vardio and Ake, and Kuzanov's reading the game from miles away. It's something I've watched Van de Ven do for you lot. You know, where they see something and come flying across out of nowhere and just take the ball out. He's very similar. He's actually quite similar a player to Van de Ven, you know.
Yeah,
So,
man. I listen.
hopefully
Van
not
de
with the
Ven,
injuries.
I'm hearing they're doing something to change like the way he runs or some shit to try and protect his hamstrings. I don't know what they're doing.
Mint player, absolute mint player, but the injuries are not a joke on him now. Like it's like John Stones is a mint player, but it gets to a point where it's like we're having to change this team all the time because of you. So, right, so we got them 3. Then we're moving into
Midfield 3. What are we doing? DM? Are we playing with the number 10? Because if we're doing the midfield 3, I think it's fair to say, I think Bergvall gets in there, man. I think he does get in there. He's been good.
Who am I going to put? Do you know what? This is the hard thing that we're 4th, you're 12th, but because me as a City fan, I'm looking at my players going not performing well enough, so I don't want to put them in. Whereas actually, if you think it, we're 4th, you're 12th, there should be a lot more City players in this team than there should be Tottenham. But I'm sat here right now going midfielders, Nico Gonzalez.
What was saying?
Actually,
Gonzalez.
do you know what? If I was talking all, do you know what? If I was talking all season, I'll be honest. I think Kovacic has been one of our best players this season.
So what are we saying then? Kovacic, Gonzalez, Madison. Because for me, Madison has to be in there. He's got to be. I know he was out injured for a month and a half, but he's got. GA, we can't question his GA. He scored goals this season. I think he scored 10,
Where are you going to
10
play
or 9 goals.
Kulusevski? Where are you going to put Kulusevski?
Shit. Because you guys have Savio and Marmoush as well. Chat,
For
help
me,
me out here. Are we going Madders or Kulu in the 10 chat?
because
Help me out.
bro, I wouldn't take Maddison at City actually, I wouldn't take either of them. Unfortunately, I really like Kulusevski. No, but do you know what? I might take Kulu and play him in an 8 role. You know.
Yeah, and just let him drive with the yeah. That's
Bro,
right.
let him drive with the ball. Let him do a bit like the De Bruyne role.
Chat,
Like
what
De
we
Bruyne
saying?
used to do.
Kulu or Madders? Kulu or Madders, chat? Kulu
I'd
in the
play
middle.
Kulu in the 8. Kulu in the 8 for me.
Okay, so what's the midfield looking like? Is it just a flat 3?
I'd have a. I mean, who's your 6 this season?
We don't play with one, but it's been Bentancur and Bissouma. And
Yeah, now, so I'd go right. So based on the here and now, I'd go Gonzalez, Kulusevski, and Madders. Yeah.
Okay. Gonzalez, Kulu, and Madders. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Up front is no question. We're just Haaland straight away.
Haaland
I
up
mean,
top. Yeah, it has to be.
Haaland straight in. On the left is between. I mean, where's Grealish? Is he injured?
Nah, Grealish, bro, Grealish.
He's done.
Yeah.
He's done.
Not
done
for me. For me, he's not done. But for me, definitely not. I still think at City, there's players that are of an age that we need to get rid of. And I'm not someone that thinks we should get rid of 7 players in one window. So for me, I'd still be keeping Grealish, and there's older players that I'd let go sooner. But I think for our club and performance-wise, yeah, it can't be Grealish. I think on the left, if you're looking City, it's a choice of Doku or Marmoush.
Yeah.
But
we've got Son on the left, isn't it? So, and Brennan Johnson on the right. So
I don't know. I don't know if you just sacrifice it all and just play Son. Don't know if you just play Son.
You chuck Marmoush on the right, maybe.
Well, yeah, Marmoush on the right, Son on the left, and Haaland up top. That could cook, you know. Yeah.
Because I mean, we've got Tell, but Tell's been kind of crap. I won't lie. He's been a bit shit.
Oh, this whole combined 11's mad, to be honest with you. Bro,
this just goes to show where both our clubs are at.
Yeah, 100%. And like I said, it's hard because I know City fans will look at this and go, "We're 4th. How's there so many Tottenham players in it?" But it's by our standards. Like, I'm struggling to put fucking Ruben Diaz in there based on our standards at the moment, which is mad. Yeah, so I think that front. By the way, I think Haaland offers Son would cook.
Oh, of course, 100%, 100%. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. Haaland and Son together would cook. I think that's the reason why Son's kind of declined, because he doesn't have a striker that he can link up. To be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think that's reasonable. Score predictions. What do you reckon, man?
2-2.
2-2. Goal scorers. Who do you reckon will get on the score sheet?
Haaland and Marmoush.
Oh, if Marmoush scores,
well, I'm putting my fate in the ball over the top thing. I'm putting my fate in the ball over the top. I'm hoping that you lot play with a high line, because if you play a high line, yeah, it is FIFA settings. He's spot on with that. It really is. I don't know how much it will work yet, but bro, it's the type of shit I want to see. I think we're going to see that type of shit at City next season, you know, though. But nah, I just pray you play that high line. 3-3. I wouldn't rule out a 3-3 neither. If you play a high line, because you will score against us. You will. Mind you, Newcastle didn't, but I think you'll score against your gaff. But we've just got I think Pep's kind of come to the realization now, this season, with the injuries we've got, we've just got to outscore teams for the rest of the season. That has to be our approach. Until we get Rodri back, we just go with that approach. So,
nah, on my scoreline, I think we'll win. I think we'll get the best. You know what? I think if either team lose, it will be a last minute. Someone will nick a goal. Someone will nick something at the end of the game.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
gonna go 3-2. 3-2. I think that's reasonable. I think if I'm going goal scorers, I think Johnson's gonna score because for some reason that guy he's just been scoring. I think man like James Mascoigne, my baller, is gonna score.
James
And
Mascoigne, mad.
I think Sonny's gonna break his goal that I can't remember
He
who's the
loves a
last
goal against
one.
us. He loves a goal
Yeah.
against us, son. Really does. Do you know
And he
what?
hasn't scored it for a while as well. A couple months actually. It's been a minute since Son scored. So
I'm trying to think who it was. I think it was it was George. I was watching I think it was Hooks and George the other day, right? And they were talking about Brennan Johnson. By the way, I think Brennan Johnson is dog shit, yeah, as a footballer. However, George was saying, like, look, I've never said he's a good footballer. I said he's effective, yeah. And do you know who made me think he's just like at City? Not now, back in the day. Raheem Sterling.
yeah.
That Raheem Sterling, yeah, you know, when he was getting those mad numbers at City, he wasn't balling, yeah. He was just so effective. This is where I really rate Raheem Sterling. He listens to his manager and he finds space, right? And like, I think Raheem Sterling and Brennan Johnson are mad similar. Like, you put Brennan Johnson, if you look at City Centurions team, I bet you if you put Brennan Johnson in that City Centurions team, he'd get similar numbers to Raheem Sterling. And still, I wouldn't be here going, Brennan Johnson's a mint footballer. I'd just be like, it is what it is. And that's why I think sometimes people go, oh, City fans are a bit disrespectful towards Raheem Sterling. It's like, I respect the numbers he got for us, yeah, but it doesn't make me think that he's anywhere near the levels of fucking De Bruyne, Aguero, David Silva, Yaya Toure, Bernardo Silva. The list could go on. But he was effective. And I think if you look at this season with you lot, you take Brennan Johnson's GA away,
Yeah.
you're probably about 16th or something.
Bro, we're probably like 70.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
That's one thing, bro. We're the second highest goal scorers in the league, which makes no sense to me at all. Like for some reason, we just outscore teams.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. I think we've scored 4 goals. I think like 4 times this
But
season in the
that's what
league
happens
alone.
when you play that style of football. When you play that style, like when you play the style of football that Ange plays, that's why I think it's so. Like, I watch any Tottenham win at home, yeah, and it boots off after the game, innit? Because it's that type of football that you can't help but be excited, because often you'll win with a last minute winner or something. It's more entertaining football.
Yeah.
And that's why I think he's probably got more time, and there's still Tottenham fans on his side, because ultimately, take everything away, take the winning away from football. As fans, we're supposed to be entertained. And if you go to Tottenham, you're going to be entertained one more way or the other. So,
Yeah, I mean, you've still got Beyonce there and Kendrick Lamar and those things. So you've always got that
see,
entertainment.
you got
But
another
look,
one. Who's the one I heard this morning on the radio? You got
Cesar, Post Malone.
Post Malone, yeah,
Um,
because my daughter knows Post Malone, and she was like singing along. I was like, how do you know Post Malone? But yeah. Post Malone, that's
yeah,
who you've got there in September. Have you done the
yeah.
go-karting?
No, I refuse to do any of that off the pitch stuff.
What,
Any of that
you
off
had done the walk across the top of it?
skywalk. No, none of it. None of it.
Bro, I'll be
Not
honest. I've never done a tour at City. I refuse to do the tour at City. I find all that stuff a bit cheesy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Forget all that, man. I go there to watch my team play football. That's it. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But Daps, let the people know where they can find you, man.
No,
Let
I
the people
really
know where they can
appreciate you
find
coming on, and thank you for everything you do coming on Never a Foul. You're helping to spice up the
you. Always, man.
and bro, actually, I remember one late night stream you came on, and it was, who was it? It was you and someone else. It was kicking off between.
And I think it might have been the other J.
It was the other J. It was the other J. Yeah, hold tight the other J. The other J. Hold tight both J's. Hold tight all the J's. There's a lot of J's.
Big up all of them.
But I appreciate you coming on Never a Foul. So yeah, that's where you can find me, Never a Foul, and of course my own channel if you do want to watch the City channel, which is We Are the South Stand.
Yeah, I will link there in the chat after the stream. It doesn't let me do it before. Straight
Yeah,
after,
yeah,
it will
yeah.
be in the title. So just refresh your page. You'll see it there. Go over and show them lots some love, man. You know what I'm saying? I will be back at 6 for Capital Conflict on Lewis's channel with Northside and Max and Lewis. So make sure you lot go. Make sure you lot are over there because it's gonna go down. It is gonna go
Bro,
down.
that's a good panel, you know.
Yeah, man. We're just
Northside's my
the
guy.
London
Northside's
club.
my guy still.
Big up Northside each and every
Yeah,
time, man. Big up
yeah.
everyone that's been on the chat. Big up Jacob. Big up Elijah. Big up everyone. And yeah, I'll catch you lot in a bit, man. Take it easy, people. Peace.